It's been nearly a century since November 11th was declared Armistice Day by President Woodrow Wilson. This month, we honor veterans who've served in the U.S. Armed Forces.
The community is unifying against bullying. We'll show you the latest stands students, teachers, and police are taking.
I'm Trace Minarchek.
And I'm Ron Hawkins. This month we celebrate the sacrifice of millions of Americans who have and continue to defend our freedom.
We're inside the White Bear Lake Armory, built in 1923. Armories were often used to store military equipment and serve as the headquarters for military personnel. Today, couples and families are making memories here because it's used for parties and weddings.
It's important, however, not to forget the past. Here are some facts about Veterans Day.
Take a look.
So we sent out a post on Facebook asking people about someone they'd like to thank for their service, and I know a lot of people saw the post, but we really didn't get much feedback.
And I know they're thankful because I'm thankful my dad served and my grandpa, and I have a brother-in-law, and there's some people at work, and so thanks to them for their service.
Yeah, most definitely. We have a few people in the fire department that, you know, big
Police
thumbs up
department
on
too.
that.
Yep. So thank you for your service. And Anti-Bullying Month is officially celebrated in October, but really it's a fight we should commit to every day.
Students, teachers, and police officers talked with us about the experience of bullying and what they think we should do to stop it. Here's what they had to say.
Kids will pick on me because of my weight, and like they'll call me ugly or like stupid or idiot, but I don't really listen to them because you know what? I know that I'm beautiful and I know that I am who I am.
I don't know a single friend who hasn't been bullied at some point in their life for being too tall, too short, too fat.
And he slapped me across the face, and by that time I was crying because it hurt. And he kept slapping me across the face, probably about 15 to 20 times. And I noticed that there was a huge circle of people standing around and no one spoke up.
I've been bullied a long time. It's because I'm a tomboy and I wear guy clothes A lot of people think that I like the same gender when I don't, and they like to mess with me about that. Some people just think I'm different because I don't do girly things, and they think it's cool to mess with me, and they try to boost themselves up when I'm getting knocked down.
A lot of my friends, like way too many of them, have had at least one like really bad bullying experience. And it's just a terrible thing to go through, and I've just seen them go through that. It just breaks my heart.
People would try to see more of the chair than me as a person. It was kind of more like, well, he's different than us. He seems like an easy target. Let's pick on him.
I feel like it's the attention they get. I feel like most of them like the attention. They like having other people like around them saying like, yeah, like be mean to her, like they think it's funny. And some people just do it maybe because that's how they get their anger out.
So when I bullied other people, I felt a lot better about myself because I didn't feel so, weak or powerless. When I finally let that go and actually apologized, I felt, so much better. I didn't feel like I had to hold on to this hate anymore.
There's always a reason that they're bullying someone. It's either because they're being bullied at home or because for some reason they just maybe even think it's fun, which is wrong. There's something going on up there in their brain. I personally think that it's people that don't feel good about themselves and they want to take it out on other people to make other people feel the same way that they do.
A lot of that pain that you feel can be washed away if you just trade it out for some encouragement and positivity.
Put yourself in their shoes. How would you like it? How would you feel if this was happening to you every single day, every other day, however many times a day or whatever it was, the frequency? How would you feel? You're gonna like it, or are you gonna be okay with it? Is it gonna make you happy? Probably not. So why would you want to make somebody else feel that way?
So we need to understand that what we're doing on social media translates into the real world, and this is how we're raising our children to be that way and to not care about people's feelings or that their words and actions don't have consequences. They do.
We have to be good role models in that sense. And I try to do that at school as a teacher too. I really try to foster respect and empathy in my classroom all the time, and I think parents need to do that also.
If you're watching somebody get bullied, don't be a bystander. Just go up and say, hey, back off.
I recognized somebody's bullying and I stepped up to the plate and said, don't do that. If everybody thought that way, it'd be a lot less of it occurring.
To me, it's just making sure everybody has a friend, someone to lean on, someone to care for them when they're feeling down or when they're feeling happy, someone to celebrate with. Just having a friend to be with them.
We just need to stand together and stand out against bullying.
Just a simple smile can make someone's day and turn their day around.
If you witness it, you could speak out and stand up for that person. I would go up to them and say, don't do that, that's not very respectful.
I really don't know why people would be scared to stop bullying, because it's making someone feel bad.
I don't know if it impacted me more of what the bully did or what the bystanders did by not speaking up about it. And I've always made it my goal to be the voice for someone who doesn't really have a voice, and then celebrate that person when they find their own voice.
So I think they did a really good job on that video. It was very meaningful.
Yeah, and it's important for kids to know, and everybody gets bullied at one time or another, or as adults, and we want them to know that the police department, the community, everybody is supportive of everybody, and if we can get a message out there not to be bullies.
Right, and don't be a bystander.
Yes, don't be
just
a bystander. Say something.
Yes.
And we also want to mention martial arts lead instructor Stan Reiser, who's an involved anti-bullying community member. In fact, here he is giving a swift kick against the hurtful things bullies say and do.
Ultimate Martial Arts in Hugo recently provided a free anti-bullying open house for the public. It's a great studio, so if you've ever been interested in martial arts, they come highly recommended.
Can you do any of that stuff? Do you have any moves?
Well, not karate. I have kind of like my own martial. Okay. Well.
So we're going to take a break, but first, here's Sergeant John Vetty with some important information about social media.
Social media is everywhere, from the very young to grandmas and grandpas all around the world. People are sharing their life publicly, but be mindful there are some things that you should keep private. Don't overshare when it comes to your personal information. This includes sharing addresses, phone numbers, and birthdays. Criminals could use it to commit crimes like identity theft. Social networking also makes it easy for people to pretend to be somebody they're not. It's a potential playground for pedophiles, so parents should monitor their children's activity. Another dangerous practice is location-based services. It exposes your whereabouts, which could put you in danger of physical harm, as well as you're leaving your home vulnerable. Photo tampering is another danger, so be mindful of the pictures you post. Plus, do you really want the office to see the bad decisions you made over the weekend? Probably not. Finally, be respectful of other people. Social media is supposed to be a good thing, not a battleground. Make sure to check out our social media sites, such as our Facebook and Twitter accounts. I'm John Vetty, and I'll see you next time.
Hopefully, oh, one word. That is not one word. Informative.
Okay, your co-host in one word.
Comical.
Welcome back, and I can't believe it, but the holidays are upon us.
Cooks across the country will be spending lots of time in their kitchens, and according to fire data, that's where most fires begin.
Joel Hewitt is going to tell us how to stay fire-free this season. Welcome to the show, Joel.
Thanks for the invitation. Nice to see you guys.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Now, it's a little cold, so some of us like to get in the kitchen and start baking and cooking, but that becomes a problem because people are busy.
Exactly. There's three things that go on. There's people involved, there's heat sources, and then there's time. A lot of times people are busy with kids, and the holidays bring on an extra busyness to everybody, so people are not paying attention like they should be. They'll start something on the stove, the kids will do something in another room, or something else will have to take place. They get a phone call, whatever, that takes their attention away from their activity. And if they're using cooking oil or different things left on the stove for a certain period of time, it's going to start a fire, and then they have the problem. If they're not properly prepared, then it could escalate into a worse problem. So.
And I've heard stories of just people having things like rolls of paper towels, and somehow it gets knocked over and it rolls right into the stove top and starts on fire. Do you have any other situations or scenarios that maybe you've been familiar with or experienced with significant kitchen fires, stovetop fires?
Well, we had one within the last year that in the afternoon they were going to cook some French fries, and they were cooking or heating up the oil. The gal that was cooking the French fries cut her hand, went downstairs quick to get a Band-Aid, came up, and the oil was on fire. So what they did, not being prepared again, they thought, well, we're going to take this outside, which is the worst thing to do. And while they took it off the stove, then they dropped it. The grease splattered on a couple kids and them, so we had burn injuries. When we got to the house in 4 minutes or so, we had fire coming out the living room and coming out the kitchen, and that significant damage, injuries, and just from being unaware of what was going on. If they would have had like a cover or a large pan or a dish, they could have just slid it over, and then the fire would have gone.
Right over the top of the fire.
Right over the top.
But a lot of times people panic and they're trying to grab and move, right? That seems to be what the problem is they're grabbing, moving, and trying to do something, and they start jostling a fire around or
Yeah, that oil, that oil is fluid, obviously, and
Mhm.
it's going to splash or spill or whatever. And a lot of times, if they're going to move like this, it spills onto them, it causes injury. Then they're going to drop it, and it just escalates just like.
Don't try to take it to the sink.
Mhm.
Don't try to take it outside. Just be prepared beforehand with
Exactly.
something to
Just-
cover
you
and
can just slide
contain it
something
where it
over and
is.
It's all over.
Yeah.
So, Christmas trees. We're going to be getting into December here pretty soon, and a lot of people really like the real Christmas trees. Give us some hints about upkeep of that and making that fire safe.
The biggest thing is go to a reputable place that sells Christmas trees. Boy Scouts, I know, sell them, and different nurseries. Buy one that's as fresh as you can get it. Check and make sure that the needles won't fall off as you either shake it or shake one of the branches or whatever. And then when you get it home, make sure that you do the fresh cut on it, put it in water, make sure that it has plenty of water. Don't let the water dry, because it'll expedite the drying process of the tree. You want to make sure that that tree has water enough. You want to use UL approved lighting on the tree. You never want to leave the lights on when you're away from the home or once you go to bed or whatever. It's a heat source. You have a dry tree.
Okay.
And what about artificial trees? No
Artificial-
fire hazard
No,
or
not really. As
minimal?
long as you buy a tree that's UL tested, again, that's UL approved. There's a little tag with UL on it, and that's what you would use.
So maybe if you're putting a different set of lights on an artificial tree, just make sure that there's nothing wrong with the lights that you're putting on, no bare wires or that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a great idea, yeah. Yep, that's essential that you do that. If you have a natural tree and you let it go dry, you got to get it out of the house. They literally explode when they catch fire. You have less than 30 seconds to get out of the room, to get out of the house.
Yes, I've seen them out in the wild. Burn, and they're growing and they're healthy and they haven't been cut, and it just in a second it roars in flame and can
God
create a lot of
forbid
damage.
If you ever have an experience like that, just get out of the house. There was a case a few years ago in Edina where the homeowner tried to got the kids out of the house and then tried to get the tree out of the house. He was severely burned and spent many, many months in rehab, and they lost the house anyway. So he almost lost his life.
So just in the last 30 seconds or so here, can you talk a little bit about candles and smoke detectors?
Well, the big thing with smoke detectors is when we fall back in our time change in a week from Sunday, make sure that you put new batteries in your smoke detectors. Make sure that you test them. Make sure that you have an escape plan with you and your kids and a place to meet outside. Candles, we have over the 40 years that I've been in the fire service, there's been significant fires that I've attended that have been caused by fires, and now they have or candles. I'm sorry, and the biggest thing is if you actually have a real candle, keep an eye on it. Never leave it unattended. Or they have this new technology where the artificial candles almost look real. So use something like that.
And they can have the scents too. If people are looking for the scents from the candle, you can get a warming plug-in that smells, and those lit up ones that have a scent to them.
Right now, everything in our house is made out of petroleum, plastic, and it's really volatile. And all you need to do is knock your candle over, leave it unattended, and have it catch something, and it's a bomb.
All right, well, thanks, Joel. I
You're welcome.
appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
on the show.
Appreciate it.
Hope everybody enjoys their holiday and
have a safe
safe.
one. Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Well, the White Bear Lake Man is bringing a little heat to our city, and it's just in time for the cold weather.
Producer Joel Cullen and photographer Ben Vinar have the story.
If you're looking for a great barbecue sauce, then Pa is your man. Pa is actually Steve Truston, a White Bear Lake resident. He tinkered in the kitchen for years, perfecting his recipes, and with the urging of family and friends, decided to sell his sauces as Pa's Barbecue, after being called Pa instead of Grandpa by his grandson. We recently caught up with Pa at the White Bear Lake Farmers Market to learn about the 4 types of sauces he sells.
We started with the sweet heat and the tangy heat last year. I just started this last year as far as at the farmer's market. The sweet heat is very sweet. It's the molasses end. And after about 3 seconds, you get a pop out of it. This one actually took 3rd place at Treasure Island Food Fest in June down at the casino. The tangy heat is the vinegar end of it, so you get the tang and the heat right up front. These two I came out with this year, Midwest heat, because so many people last year, probably 30% of the people came by and they want something with no heat. So Midwest heat equals no heat. Tastes great, but it's super, super mild. Somebody came by and called it family friendly. And then the smooth heat mustard is indescribable. I don't know exactly how to describe it. So I've had people tell me it's like a Carolina barbecue, like a Georgia mustard. It just, I don't know. Like I was telling the couple that came by, make coleslaw with it, potato salad, goes with dipping, pretzels, shrimp, goes with everything.
Trustin has been thrilled with the response he's received from his customers.
It's one thing when your friends and your family tell you it's great, and you wonder, okay, are they just being friends and family? But then when you get in here and it actually complete strangers are buying it, and then they're coming back in 2 weeks saying they ran out and they want some more, then it's a little more reality involved.
You can find Pa's barbecue sauces at the White Bear Lake Farmers Market and in grocery stores including Kowalski's and Festival Foods in White Bear Lake and Hy-Vee in Oakdale.
Check out Pa's Barbecue Facebook page for more information. We're going to take a break, but stay tuned. You don't want to miss an epic showdown when we return.
I think that Tracy, she's very spontaneous and she's very fun. I mean, she's not afraid to have fun. She's not afraid to have a segment that, I could look kind of stupid in this show, but let's just go for it anyways, or a little segment promoting this or that. So yeah, she's not afraid about looking dumb. But I mean, the staff at GTN, I think, do a really good job at not making her look dumb or not making me look dumb. At least I hope. The White Bear Lake Fire Department and Police Department are strong partners, but also strong competitors.
The world recently watched me dance my way to victory against firefighter and EMT Jared Hayter, and now it's Ron's turn, as we discovered he had some tough competition.
Hey everybody, the police chief and I are going head-to-head in today's challenge. Tracy and Jared had it easy, but today we're stepping up our endurance. You ready to go, Chief?
I am.
All right. Maybe it would be best to do ladies first. And seriously, I cannot see anything here.
Oh, there it is. Hey. Hey, people, producer.
Here it goes.
Oh.
Ooh.
Did he knock it to the ground?
Move your blinds up.
Oh.
I've had it with this.
Jeez. Apparently the fire department is angry. Hey. Oh, there's snakes in
it. What would you say is maybe the most frightening moment of your career?
Boy, probably that point where I was put in charge.
On your count.
3, 2, 1. Say saving myself for the cartwheels.
Oh, I didn't hear about that challenge.
But I think I'm done.
What would you say would be maybe the most frightening moment in your life? Maybe not necessarily related to your career.
Right after I finished school to be a police officer, my husband and I had taken a trip with our 2 oldest kids. We didn't have our 3rd son yet. And we went with my mother and father-in-law to Montana to visit Glacier. And my mother-in-law suffered a heart attack there in the middle of Glacier, and it was kind of prior to cell phone use. And she ended up passing away in Glacier, and we had to do CPR on her. And you know, I was a young mom and just finished school to become a cop and wanted to help people, and here I couldn't help my own family.
Little did you know, I cartwheel all the time. Just kidding, not really.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm at it.
When you tell people you're a police officer, they think you're super cool. And then when you tell them you're a police chief, they're like, oh, okay. Because I think they know that the fun is kind of gone. I mean, it's a fun job, but the exciting calls, I'm not the first one there. If I'm there, usually there's a problem.
All right, I'm ready when you are.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Wait a minute. You cheater.
I didn't cheat. You always have to be ready.
Coming after you. I'm breathing down your neck. So, as police chief, did you ever think you would be doing that?
No. Right.
Nice job, Chief.
Safe to say I won.
Start the timer.
You picked the little one.
That's not bad. Get a little bit hotter. I want to kind of pace myself. Because
Good time.
Actually is getting hotter. I'm sweating on the inside.
You're getting red. Are you crying?
No.
Don't cry, Ron.
I'm going to win this now. Done. All right. That is most definitely hot. I just want to forewarn you. All right. It needs a little water, but all right.
There's something I didn't tell you. I don't.
I got a little jalapeno in my teeth.
There's something I didn't tell you.
What's that?
I don't eat vegetables. So I'm out. I'm out.
Wait a minute.
You won that one.
So that last challenge was quite a challenge. I can still feel that my lips are burning, but hey, it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, and clearly...
I won.
I won?
I won.
Okay, well, all right. But it was fun, so, and
that's
clearly...
what's important.
Yes, that's what's important, and clearly our departments work so well together. Not only in challenges such as this, but out on the streets, right?
Right.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And now we challenge you to reach out and let us know what you think about the show. Maybe you have a story idea, or maybe you've got a story of your own.
We're out of time for this edition of Lake Area Beat. Have a happy and fire-free Thanksgiving.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.